All right, just bought my first table saw and I'm looking to design a stand for it. Now this is a little compact table saw and I'm just looking to get something quick and easy out and then maybe later come back with something more elaborate. So I decided to model this in Fusion, just going to make it with some 2x4s and some scrap plywood I have lying around. And as I'm designing it, so I want to go ahead and add some caster wheels to it. This will make it so I can move it out of the way since I have a small shop. Anyway, just saying all that so you can see where I'm going with this. I want to add some caster wheels now to this so I will know to make it the exact height I need it. Instead of designing them from scratch, I'm going to bring them in from McMaster Car. I thought this would be a great opportunity to test drive the new addition to Fusion Tools, which is our Constrain components. This was added in the July 2025 update, and I'm still yet to take it for a test drive. Now, you may be asking, what about joints? You still have the ability to add joints. The constraint components is just another way of constraining your components. You can actually now bring in components, or you just can design them yourself and add constraints to them just as you would with the same methodology as sketch constraints. Let's first go ahead and bring in some caster wheels and I'll show you how we're going to go about this. Let's go into Insert McMaster Car component. If you've never used this feature in Fusion, I highly recommend that you try it out. It's a really neat feature built right in. I'm going to go ahead and type casters. I'm going to go with some locking casters. I'm just going to go through the left column here to continue to filter. So we'll go with the wheel brake and swivel lock. We're going to go to plate 1. The wheels I have are 4 inches in diameter. And I'm just kind of going through to see what options it gives me and what I want. I'm going to now scroll down and see the options. This looks like a pretty good one. It doesn't need to be exact. The height is what's important. I'm going to choose 3D step here and then click download. Fusion will bring the file right in. Let's go ahead and just move it out the way because it comes right in the middle of our part. And it also comes with the little move widgets ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and reorient it so it's facing up. That looks pretty good. I'm going to click OK. The rest of the table here, I made it with bodies. I didn't use components. Really had no reason to. So all these are just bodies, and this is going to be my only component. Notice that it's got a little anchor here. It means it's sort of pinned, or not really pinned. The correct term is it's grounded to the parent. There's a separate option for pinning, but basically it kind of worked the same way, basically fixed in place. To move it around, I first have to unground it. So I'm going to right click and go unground from parent. Now I can move it around. All right, I'm simply gonna go ahead and rotate so that this is the bottom face of this table. And I'm just gonna roughly move this into place. All right, now we're gonna go up to assemble and grab our constraint components. You'll see when we get this dialog box that pops up that we've got 2 options right now, align and angle. From what I understand, Fusion will be adding more options, but this is what we have to start with. And you'll notice the align tool, it's actually very similar to your modify align tool as in the way it works. So let's go ahead and try it. We're gonna click on, and we have the option to choose a face, an edge, or a vertex. So we're gonna go ahead and just click on this face of this component, the caster wheel, and I'll click on the face of the table. And we can add more constraints by clicking on this plus sign and continue to add them. But I'm just gonna click OK for now to show you what we have. So in this case, we can see that the caster is now constrained onto this plane of the table. I can only move it in that direction. I can't move it up and down, just side to side and back to back. That's not enough to hold it in place, so we'll have to add a few more. Instead of going back to assemble and clicking on constraint components and getting an entire new feature here, what we're going to do is go into our timeline and we'll just open up the existing one that we made. We're just going to click on the plus to add another one. Let's try grabbing this edge here, and we can say I want to align that edge to this edge of the table. You'll see if I click OK, I've got now sort of 2 constraints there, one to the face of the table and one along this edge. So now we need to lock it from moving front to back. I'll open up the timeline feature, click the add button. In addition to clicking edges, we can grab this face and click this face on the side of the table, and that's going to lock it there. Now this should be fully constrained, so I can't move it up, down, left, right. It's right where it is. Let's go ahead and add another one. I want to show you something else. Let's say I want to add one to this side. You can mirror this to the other side. To do that, I'm gonna need a construction plane here in the middle. Let's make a mid plane by clicking on two faces that are parallel to each other, and it'll throw a plane right in the middle there. All right, I'm gonna take this plane, let's just extend it out a bit. I'm gonna go to create, down to mirror, and grab this component, choose that mirror plane as my mirroring plane, and click OK. You can see we have our caster on this side here, and it's exactly where it needs to be as far as the position. But you can see there's no constraints applied to it, so the constraints don't carry over when you mirror it. We're gonna add the constraints on this as well. I'll click on Assemble, down to Constraint Components, and let's start it the same way. We'll go ahead and click on that face of our caster, and then onto our table, and then add the edge constraint as we did before. We'll say edge to this edge. But let's say you don't want it to be right on the edge. Let's say you want it to be half an inch inside, so you have a little more material there to screw down that caster. You can add that right in here where it says offset. So I'll just enter 0.5, and you can see if I click OK here, I'm able to move this around, but it's gonna remain that half an inch offset from that edge. I will do the same thing to this edge. And so here I'll add the plus sign. We'll do this face, constrain to this face, and type in our 0.5 offset and click OK. You can add your constraint to edges or add an offset to keep them a certain distance from the edge. Let's try a few more options here. For this next one, I'm going to create a sketch on this table. I'm just going to draw a 1-inch circle and add some dimensions. So let's say you have a sketch and you have the sketch dimensioned, where you have your mounting holes, for example, or any real sketch feature, or in your constraints. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and click Move Copy, select Move Components. I'm gonna click on this component here of our caster, create a copy of it, and move it over. All right, so I have copy here. Let me move it up. And I'll start it the same way to add that constraint to get it to sit on the surface I want first. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to select the surface there and select the surface of the table. And I'm going to go back in and add another one. I'm going to select the cylindrical side of the caster and select the circle here. And you can see that'll align the center points. Click OK. And the center of the cylinder is going to be concentric to the circle. You can see we have a problem here where it kind of overhangs, and it's still not fully constrained because this swivels. So in this case, we would need to add another constraint. We would add this edge to this edge here, or that face to the side face of the table. Open that constraint again, add another constraint, select edge to edge. Oh, that's interesting. It automatically selected an angle because it was smart enough to know that if it's constrained to that circle here, it's going to be an over constraint error is what it would give you if you were in your sketch mode. So instead it said, oh, you probably want an angle. So that's actually a better choice here. So here we can, instead of a distance, we can do an angle. It's set to 0. It aligned it. If I do 90, it'll turn it 90 degrees. I want it to be the same way as this one here, let's say. But you can enter whatever degree you want. So if I want, do 45 degrees, it'll pivot that way. Let's go back to 0. That looks good. In this case, because it is concentric to this circle or constrained to that, if we wanted to change it, we would have to go back to that sketch where I put that circle there and probably add a little more distance from the circle to the edge. Which brings another great point. These constraints are parametric. So if I open up that sketch and change this from 1 to 2 inches back here and then finish sketch, you can see that it moved it. Maybe we'll add a little more to this side. So instead of 2, let's change that to 3 and then finish this sketch. And now that moved back. So it's moving with that sketch. That kind of gives me another idea. So something else I want to show you here, one more option. Let's make another copy of this caster wheel here. So I'll click on Components, click on Create Copy, move this over here, and bring it up a bit for now. We can take the sketch here. For example, sometimes you may have your mounting holes already drawn into your plan. Let's do that. I'm going to create a sketch on this surface here. And let's untoggle the body so we can see it. I'm going to click slice, so it'll just go right to the plane so I can see which one I actually selected. And here I'm going to hit P for project this surface here of that body. And it's going to bring those outlines into this sketch. Let me just untoggle the rest of these components here so we don't see the body. The point I want to make here is that you can copy sketches. So I'm going to box select everything, Command or Control C to copy, bring them back into view, finish sketch. And let's also bring our bodies back into view. I'm going to throw that sketch on this table, create a sketch on the table here. Command V to paste it. Let me see where it threw that sketch. So it's over here. I'm just going to drag it over. And here's a tip. Well, if you didn't know you could copy sketches, you can actually just go in, copy sketch and bring it in. But I want to constrain this. Now I'm in sketch mode. I want to constrain this sketch to this position right here. That's uncheck body so you can see it a little better. So constrain this vertex to that point. And if I go to coincident constraint here and try to set that, look what happens. It's gonna bring in just the rectangle and it's not gonna bring in these little slots here. So you wanna be careful. And the way to do this, because when you paste a sketch, it doesn't bring in the constraints with it. So instead of box select the entire thing and then grab it by one of the vertices and just bring it and it'll actually snap. And you know what? I'm gonna need to project that point first. So if you don't have the point projected, you can either bring a line or just the point. In this case, I'm just going to bring that one point there. That's all I really need. So now I'm going to grab it and it should snap right to that point. You see it get that little box around it. Now, you've brought all the sketch entities together. You can go in and give dimensions to each of these lines and arcs. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to select everything and click on fix. You'll see everything will turn green. It's just a quick way to constrain everything in place. All right, now that I have that sketch there, I'm going to say finish sketch and go to assemble, constrain components. I'm going to choose this arc on the model and then click on this arc here on the sketch. So it's going to move it right into place. We can bring the bodies back into view. I'm going to click OK. Show you what we have here. We have that one arc constraint, but you can see we can swivel it. So we have sort of this rotation motion. So we have to lock it in two places. And we can just do the same thing here. Okay, so this state, I'm going to choose this edge and then this arc here. And that'll constrain. It really doesn't matter which one you have as long as you have 2 points there or 2 arcs. Go ahead and constrain it. I just want to show how you can copy a sketch of the mounting holes, bring them in, and then you can go ahead and click on those to line it up and constrain it. Just sort of my first dive into this. I had a real project and I thought, this would be a great example to show the components since I was working with these components, bringing them in, and I wanted to line them up. Yeah, give it a little test run. One limitation is you don't have the joints as you have here. What you kind of do if you just leave a few degrees of freedom, right? Like if you just do a constraint on the surface and then a constraint around a circle, you'll be able to sort of rotate it or you can slide it. So really the joints in this case kind of work by just leaving the degrees of freedom that you want, but you can't animate them like you would do in joints. So it's nice to have the option of both because sometimes you just want to quickly come in and align things and just get it assembled into a bigger assembly, I guess, and not having to worry about, adding joints. So, all right, let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and make this in real life now. Thanks for watching, and a huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you're looking to improve your Fusion design skills, it's critical that you become comfortable with the use of sketch constraints, which will dramatically speed up your workflow. I've created a free constraints cheat sheet you can download. Check out the link below. I've also included links to my Fusion video courses and my Patreon page if you'd like to support my channel. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one.